Last October, just a few months ago, the Scottish government began distributing letters to citizens whose houses lay within so-called safe access zones, warning them that even private prayer within their own homes may amount to breaking the law. Naturally, the government urged readers to report any fellow citizens suspected guilty of thought crime. In Britain and across Europe, free speech, I fear, is in retreat.
Hello, Abigail. How are you?
I'm a little bit astounded by those words.
So that was JD Vance, and we are gonna, yes, no music. I heard that from JD Vance. I watched the speech. By the way, everyone, welcome to We Are a Crotchety Old Man,
And a woman.
the podcast for you, with you, and sometimes even about you. And so I'm watching that speech, and I was moved by listening to it. I actually listened to it multiple times. It's about 18 minutes if you don't get a chance to listen to it. At some points in it, you could actually say this is one of the most powerful speeches, first of all, that I've ever heard a vice president give, much less a president. I'm actually going to play another clip later in the day, but I wanted to just put that out there. We're going to go back to the political stuff in a little bit. But most importantly, we got to ask Abigail, how's she doing on her trip? You're still in Australia, right?
Yes, I am. It's going very well.
So what have you
We've
been
had
doing?
we've had a few excursions. One of which was going to a pool that was on the 17th floor of a building that stuck out,
Wow.
and you could
Okay.
look down. So that was a little creepy but fun.
Did you swim over to the edge?
Yes, I did.
And what was that like? Like, were you like,
It was pretty scary, but I survived. So we've been having a lot of ice cream here, and
Wow.
because it is summer, and my friend and I were in Costco. They had a Costco in the middle of the city, which I found bizarre. And I was talking to her about the best ice cream I've ever had. Do you remember what I told you, Arden?
Yes, I do actually.
Okay. So I described to her that in Japan, I actually ran into a Godiva school store that had soft serve chocolate ice cream. And I told my friend that was the best ice cream I had ever had. So we pulled over to a mall just to run in really quickly. And there was a Godiva store, and I'm approaching it, and there's a big sign with an ice cream cone with soft serve Godiva double chocolate ice cream. Wow. I
Wow.
was thrilled because I could not find, or I cannot find one in the States. So naturally I got one, and I was in sheer heaven.
So what you
And
should do is ask our listeners if anyone knows where a Godiva chocolate ice cream, I'm sorry, Godiva chocolate ice cream store is, to let us know.
yeah, and if we go back many episodes, Arden was not here to tell me I couldn't have it. So
Rude.
some of you will remember that.
Hey, I
Then
made
we
up for
went
that
out
mess.
we went out to the country yesterday and went to a winery for wine testing. It was way above my head, but I enjoyed it. And then on the way home, we stopped by something that literally was a chocolate factory. There was chocolate everywhere. So Abigail was very, very happy. But last night, Abigail did not have a good time.
Oh
We
no.
went to a symphony, to a venue like Wolf Trap, where you lay, you can sit on the grass. And my friend and her son was with me. And after about the first half hour, it got so cold, even though it's summertime here. And I'm freezing, and then it starts to pour rain.
Oh
So
wow.
we get up, grab the blanket, and start running. But Abigail brought her glasses, her new glasses, to see. Well, Abigail had left it on the blanket. So when we scammed out of there, the glasses are gone, which is sad. But Abigail's always prepared and brought an extra pair of glasses.
Very wise woman, that Abigail.
Yeah, and so they're safely with me for the flight home on Wednesday.
And some kangaroo picked them up and now can see clearly.
I
That
think
is,
so.
ah,
Anyway, so that's been my days lately. And I got to mention that I did go back to the Godiva store a second time, and we'll be going back tomorrow. So,
That's
I hope
awesome.
somebody out there tells me there's a Godiva place
I
that
hope so.
has soft-serve ice cream.
Yeah, so our listeners, let us know, and for our people all over the rest of the world, because we went international quite a lot again last week. Like,
Mhm.
I mean, we got a bunch of listeners out in Europe and in Japan and all over the place. For some reason, we don't do well in South America yet, but yeah, if there's got to be a Godiva chocolate store in Japan. There has to be. There's got to be. But yeah,
You mean
so
in the US?
well, no, I'm saying about it in Japan. There has to be one for that one listener that we have out there.
Oh,
Yes, but
okay.
California should, you would think, just logically, they're California. Anyway, so useless facts. Useless fact of the day. Actually, mentioning the kangaroo 2 seconds ago. Did you know a kangaroo cannot hop backwards? It can actually not go backwards.
I did not.
That's why it's on their coat of arms because they never retreat. Interesting.
Okay.
But that was
But
not the useless fact of the day.
could you jump backwards?
Yes, I
That's the
can.
question I have for
I
you.
can jump backwards.
All right. Well,
I
I'm
wouldn't
not
want
sure
to be
that
near me when I'm jumping backwards, but I can jump backwards. But the useless fact is that Australia is the flattest and driest inhabited continent.
Really?
I did not know it was the flattest. Like last week, I was talking about the Australian Alps, and now we find out that this is the flattest land. And Tasmania, with the home of the Tasmanian devil, is actually the cleanest air in the world.
Wow. Because when we went out to the country, there were mountains.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? Yeah, it's very
Mm,
dry. It doesn't rain that much. So you were mentioning rain. So
yes.
you got that rare rain. So that was the useless fact of the day. Now wanted to. It's been a while since I've seen Abigail. I every once in a while I get to see her and we do a Zoom call. But you're coming home soon. Yay! The
And
I
it sounds like I'm coming home to a snowstorm. So,
well, if it was like today's snowstorm, which didn't happen at all, we got tons of rain. It was supposed
mm,
to be 7 inches of snow, and now it's just pouring and pouring and pouring. But
mm.
so the dogs and I we hung out, and we were watching YouTube videos of these guys called the Two Cellos, and we just sat on the couch watching cello music, and it put them to sleep. So I think I found the key to putting the dogs to sleep. Anyway, let's get to the Ask Abigail 3 questions. Here we go. First question. What childish thing do you still like to do? Abigail's not very childish, so that's why
Okay.
this is a
I
great
I
question.
like to go down slides, water slides. I
Oh,
have no
okay.
shame when I'm at a water park. I'm the only 53-year-old woman standing in line to get to the platform, but I don't care.
My
I
brother would
enjoy going down the water slides.
my brother would probably drop a couple elbows on you to get you out of the way so he could go down first. Because that's a guy he's so mean. Okay, next question. What was the worst purchase you ever made? What's the worst thing you ever
Oh,
bought?
wow.
I mean, I was there when Abigail had a table in the yeah, like a little tiny kitchen table, and she didn't like it. Bought another one, didn't like that one. Bought a third one, didn't like that one, and then made me carry up the from the basement, made me carry up the original.
Okay, so are we talking about the most expensive
Nope.
mistake?
Yeah, just the worst mistake you ever made buying something. It could be the most expensive, but like if it's something expensive that you like, that doesn't count. Something that like you wasted money on, and you're like, what? I mean, it's like when I bought some bad coffee the other day, and I was like, this sucks. This is not basement coffee, the finest coffee you can have in a
Oh,
basement.
okay.
Ah, snuck it in.
Yes, you did.
Mm,
Okay, so I would have to say this is an embarrassing one that I purchased some jeans from online that seemed to have a very elastic waistband, and I
okay.
thought it was really comfortable. So they arrive and I put them on, and the elastic part is just very loose on me. Well, I went back and looked at the description very closely, and they were actually maternity jeans. for women that are pregnant. So that was embarrassing. And my friend was with me, and she never let me live that one down.
That is an awesome answer. I almost want to stop there because that was so good. Well, here's a good one. So now that you've given up smoking,
Hmm.
now that smoking's out of the way, what's your worst habit?
My worst habit.
Since you no longer are smoking, because that would be your worst. But now,
So habit needs to be a bad thing, right?
yeah. Well, I guess.
What's my next bad habit?
Like
I'm
mine
not
would,
sure, Arden. This is a tough question.
like for me, it would definitely be eating. Just ridiculous amounts of chips and things. That would be my
Yeah,
worst
I
habit.
gotta say, especially here, I've been eating nothing but chocolate and junk. So I would have to say I'm addicted, or my bad habit is eating chocolate.
Okay, okay, that's a good
That
one.
answer wasn't as exciting as the last one,
Yeah,
but
that's why I
that's
shouldn't stop, but that's okay. I'm glad we learned that you actually have pregnancy pants, just in case.
I didn't even bother donating them. They went in the garbage.
Maternity clothes. That would be like me buying a muumuu, one of those big giant Samoan dresses for men. So we played that first clip of JD Vance. And would you be okay if I played the second one for you? Because I think like it just shows how crazy that speech was.
Yeah, I mean, I only read about certain snippets. I didn't get to listen to it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this.
Okay. Now the fun part is he makes a joke in the middle of it. Actually, it's kind of
Mhm.
like right at the beginning, and it crickets are heard. Like, but it's really like it was like an fu to the entire European Union. So uh, here it is. Hopefully, you'll be able to hear it well.
Opinions isn't election interference. Even when people express views outside your own country, and even when those people are very influential. And trust me, I say this with all humor. If American democracy can survive 10 years of Greta Thunberg scolding, you guys can survive a few months of Elon Musk.
Crickets.
But
Wow.
what no democracy, American, German, or European, will survive is telling millions of voters that their thoughts and concerns, their aspirations, their pleas for relief are invalid or unworthy of even being considered.
How amazing is that? Like, so I actually did a lot of research on this, and some things are true, and some things you really have to dig deep. But like, so going back to his original one in Scotland, they actually have safe access zones, and people in towns that have a safe access zone are are not allowed to say anything or do anything inappropriate, even in their own homes. So
That
hypothetically,
is scary.
so if Abigail, I mean, we don't really actually we live kind of close to the one church. I mean, what is that like a quarter of a mile up the road? Um, if if we were in that zone and I said something about it, that church, or any zone it was, if it was a community center, if it was an abortion clinic, if it was anything, a Democrat convention site, I don't know, I could be arrested for even thinking in my own home. I mean,
Wow.
now once again, you're in Australia. Australia was possibly the worst when it came to COVID. I mean, they locked down cities, they threw people in jail, they beat people for trying to defy them. And so JD Vance is going and he's talking about it. And I mean that joke just didn't go well with Thornburg, but deathly quiet. Today, a person was speaking, and I apologize. I didn't know who she was for because she's speaking in Greek and saying the same thing, that the European Union is awful. But that speech, he actually goes in to say that in World War II, we were fighting against this type of control by government elites controlling everything. How far have we actually come in going back to that time? And people were just like, "Oh my God, how dare he say these things?" So I don't know what do you like. What are your thoughts? I mean, because there's also in England, it's really bad. The one gentleman who was he posted a meme, and for those like my mom, who's a little older, it was a picture. Okay, a picture that he sent over to other people, and the government found out about this picture, and it was not offensive. I mean it was like the Babylon Bee. If you're
Hmm.
familiar with the Babylon Bee, which is uh, and he actually was arrested and is now in jail for
Wow.
posting a meme that was contradictory to the government. What the hell is going on in the world of Europe? Like, I mean, and that could easily happen here. I mean, I mean, what did Reagan say? Like, was it Reagan who said that we are just one election away from losing all freedoms? I mean,
I think so. That's crazy.
it's just unbelievable what's going on. Like, you are not allowed, they don't have a freedom of speech, like a First Amendment like we do. So, like, like, as much as I can't stand a lot of groups, they have the right to speak. You're just not allowed to threaten people. For example, I mean, the easiest one, if the Ku Klux Klan got proper permissions and they actually followed the law and had a protest in a park, they followed all the law, they're allowed to do that as much as you hate what they have to say. Same thing with anyone. So if Kamala Harris was giving her screaming and yelling, or AOC screaming and yelling, they have the right to do that. You know, but at the same time, if it was reversed, oh my dear Lord, they would want conservatives. I don't want to say Republicans. Where conservatives would be thrown in jail for a lot of these things that they said. And now we have the Democrats. I know I'm going on a bit of a tangent, but Democrats are now yelling about Doge and how bad Doge is, that they have to take it to the streets. Now, in the old times, they would say we need to fight for our beliefs. Yeah, we all know they actually meant Congress, but now they're saying we have to fight in the streets. They want to push division to the point of violence and start actually having, and this, in our case, it actually comes down to the illegal aliens. They actually want riots. It's unbelievable what's going on. I'm sorry, I'm going on a tangent. What are
Well,
your thoughts?
let me take a step back to Australia and a scary um, connection with the government when it came to COVID. Australia is very much more technology advanced than the United States. People don't use credit cards, they use their phone. So
Right.
when they go to pay, they just hit the thing with their phone. But my friend during COVID had gone to a Starbucks coffee, and the next day she got a text message from the government that said, "You were exposed to somebody that tested positive for COVID at this Starbucks restaurant."
Wow.
And it indicated you must go to a clinic and get tested. How scary is that?
Big Brother watching. I mean, it's astronomically bad. That's not the right word, astronomically bad. It's just I don't know, people. I mean, I'm talking to our audience, but we really do have to pay a lot more attention. Everyone's paying attention to other things in life because life goes on. You know, there's a lot of shit hitting the fan right now. I mean, the Democrat Party, and some Republicans are attacking Doge like crazy. They're bashing the youthful people, the 22-year-olds who are in there. Like, these guys, some of them are not taking any money. They're just going in and saying, hey, here's another line item. Why are we spending this much on this? Why are we spending this? And there are Republicans and Democrats losing their shit because they're finding out how many millions and billions and soon trillions of waste that's going away. I don't know. It's absolutely insane. So let's lighten this up a little before I start going crazy here. Abigail, you know what time it is?
I'm not sure, Arden. I'm all the way very far away from you.
Oh, that
Oh, is it the Trump orb, time? Is that what this
yes,
is?
it's time for the magical Trump orb. So, Abigail, you do you want to do alternate questions where you do one, I do one, you do the last one, or do you want to do your two first?
No, we'll alternate.
Okay, I still have to think
So
of one. I didn't
Arden,
plan.
so Arden already mentioned this to a degree, but Trump orb, has Abigail had a cigarette since she left Sterling, Virginia last week?
Ooh, that's an exact question.
Hmm.
Find out.
Don't worry about it.
Ah!
Oh,
Oh, he said none of my beeswax. Wow.
wow. I guess I don't worry about it because I just told the truth that I didn't have a cigarette. So
Wow.
I'm
So
on
if he
the
said
road.
yes, that would have been a problem, wouldn't it?
I am on the road to recovery.
Have you had
It's
any?
astonishing.
Have you had the munchies or anything? Like,
No.
are you eating more, eating less?
Well, I am eating more, but not because I'm not smoking. I'm just on vacation.
Oh, that's a good excuse. I love that. I'm going to rehab. It's a vacation. Okay. So I have to come up with one. So let me go. What's also in the news? Um, okay. This is more sports related. So I don't know if Abigail knows that there's actually this kind of, I don't like it personally. It's a hockey tournament, and it's four countries. Basically, the NHL shut down for a couple weeks. Not for the Olympics, not for a World Cup, but they have a four-team Canada, U.S., Sweden, and Finland play. Switzerland, excuse me, not Sweden. No, it is Sweden. Yeah, Sweden. So, Chummy Orb, will the NHL get rid of this annoying thing and not have it and just let the teams play? I think that would be a lot easier.
No.
Oh, damn it! Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! All right. All right, Abigail, you're up. What do you got?
Okay.
Give me a
So I
riddle.
have been staying on top of the news. And I heard about this mine. Elon talked about it, that goes underground in Pennsylvania.
Oh, yeah.
And down in this mine are all the manila folders for each and every individual that has retired from the federal government.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, the people are limited in how many can be officially retired until this paperwork has been stored and filed in this vault
Right. There's no data,
down in this
actual
mine.
database.
Yes. So my question to the Trump board is, could Abigail submit an entire file of my government records that I fake down into this mine and actually retire?
Hmm.
Could that happen? I think it could, Arden. There's so much waste. So
And you,
let's see what Trump says.
I don't think so.
no, you don't
Oh,
think
Trump
so.
has a little, he's got a little faith in that system,
Yeah,
huh?
yeah. I mean, think about it. If they can only retire 10,000 people, by the way, that just shows how huge the government is. Like, they could only process 10,000 employees. I would think about that number a year. How many thousands of employees are there? I'm not talking about your military and everything else. Like, how many thousands of the United States government, for those overseas, is the biggest employer in the world. Just to make it, I mean, like, they employ so many people. It's disgraceful. I actually read an article today about, did you know that 80% of the United States population is on the eastern half of the Mississippi? Did you
That
know?
doesn't surprise me.
Well, I mean, I was always thinking California, Texas, but a lot of it has to also do with the federal government owning so much land
Mhm.
out west. By the way, there's another useless information, because they wanted to carve everything into equal states. That's why most of the states, once you pass the Mississippi, are all squared or like kind of square, or like everything's at right angles. But the federal government owns a ton of land, and so does, and you know who owns the most land in America, right? What person?
What person?
What person owns most land? By the way, more than a couple states combined.
I don't know.
Bill Gates. He owns
Wow.
more land than any other person in the US.
Hmm.
And yes, this is the man who wants us to eat that nasty ass like vegetable patty thing, whatever it was, that fake pink food. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
That was a big
No,
thing.
I do not.
Yeah, well, yeah. So anyway, that was bad. But so RFK got passed, and now we're just waiting on um, our other guy. Damn, the FBI guy. Why is my brain not working? Come on, help me.
I think Patel.
Patel, yes. Yeah, so once he notice how they're like the Democrats, I mean, they're doing what's legal, they're following the law. Like there has to be like 30 hours of actual debate. And they're making sure because they got to get, they have to get rid of all their files. So they're shredding and deleting everything as much as they can. But Kash Patel, I mean, the guy, he's been there. So I'm hoping he just goes nuts. You have Pam Bondi suing the city of New York. There's a
Mm,
lot of stuff going on. But also, did you see in our area? I don't know if it's true that you were actually saying that you saw a map today. I've seen maps all over the place that people are putting their houses up for sale all over the area, from Arlington County, Fairfax County, Maryland, Washington D.C., because so many people are getting laid off or are worried about getting laid off that they may have to sell their homes. Did you see that?
yes, I did.
And you were uh, evilly smiling about someone who might be losing their job.
Yes, but I'm not going to go into detail. But yes, I have a person that I know that is on a quote probationary period with the government because it actually goes back 2 years, Arden. I read that.
Oh, wow.
Uh,
Okay.
2 years or less, you're on what they call a probationary period. And Elon and the Doge entourage have signaled that they may lay off everyone that is on a probationary period. And that would be something
Yeah.
to do
And
that.
and Angela, the was that the girl's name that you didn't like? Was it?
Angela,
Yeah, was that the girl's name?
what are you talking about?
Oh, I didn't know the person's name, and I almost I didn't mean to blurt her
Oh, you
name
mean
out.
the person that it may be let go?
Yeah, I I
I
hope
don't want
that's
to
not her name.
identify them.
Okay.
So
Okay. So anyway,
I think you got lost there, Arden.
I did. I did. I'm sorry. So if your name is Angela and you're about to be laid off by the federal government, I'm not talking about you. Anyway, lost my mind. Yeah, so that would, I mean, I don't know. That would be pretty amazing. So this was a jobs thing that I was thinking about. I know a lot of people who are unemployed right now. And this is where sacrifice might be a great thing and a bad thing. For
Mhm.
like, and I myself do not want to for those who I personally know who are unemployed, it sucks. But if it's for the betterment of this country, I have no problem if I had to if I was in those shoes, if I knew that our country would be a lot better off, if we had 30, 40, 50, 100,000 people lose their jobs who work only for the government, I'd be okay with it. If I didn't have a job for 6 more months, I'd be okay with it if I knew it was better, a lot better for the government and that it fixed the problem. Does that make sense? Because
Yeah.
there's a lot of funny videos going on. I don't know if you've ever seen any of the funny videos of it's either a man or a woman and they're like very straightforward and they're talking about I was just laid off from the Fish and Wildlife Reserve. My job was to make sure that I was seeing what is the fastest shrimp in the ocean. We were testing shrimp speed, and now we all lost our jobs. I thought that was hilarious. At first, you think it's real, but there are people who are really pissed off. I just got fired from this place. I just got fired from that place, and bam. It's like, Well, shut up. You probably were doing nothing. You're gone. And as COVID proved, there's a lot of people that don't need jobs out there for the
Well,
government.
I know you don't like to listen to business news, and I think the guy's name is Jamie Dion, but I may have that
Jamie
wrong.
Dion.
He is the head of one major bank. I think it's JP Morgan Chase, but he has given the mandate that everyone needs to return to work at the
Yep.
office. And so many of them are defying him and whining and crying, and he's laid out a lot of curse words. I think he's going to call their bluff and fire every one of them.
Is it Jamie Dimon?
Yes, Jamie
Okay.
Dimon.
I knew I heard that name because I watch the business shows with Abigail every morning.
Yes, so I think all these people that are fighting that they won't will not return to work, it astonishes me. I would never do that. If I got an ultimatum, I would go back to work.
Of course you would.
But
Because
the entitlement of these people is amazing. It's
right,
quite shocking.
right.
And you know, obviously the federal government on day one, Trump said you're coming back to the office.
Yeah. And if you don't
And
want
those
it,
that don't, huh?
oh, sorry, go ahead, finish your thought.
And those that don't will lose their jobs, as they should. I mean, it's unbelievable to me with these, you know, this work from home ethic that people have. And there's been articles that say they're more productive than those at the office. And, I say it's a bunch of BS.
Right. I mean,
People are not focusing for 8 hours when they're sitting at home in their pajamas. And, there's devices out there like the Jiggler, which will make it look like you're online when you're
oh,
not.
yeah, you could use that in the office too, but very dangerous. You should, I would like that should be like mandatory firing if you're in the office and you got a jiggler working for you. Because IT wouldn't know until they came into your office.
That's true.
Yeah, but
But
I mean,
yeah, so I mean, again, it's sad in a way. I feel bad for these people, but you take a mediocre, what's the word? Mediocre job with the federal government where everything moves slow,
yep,
then eventually it's going to catch up to you.
right. And I mean, it just shows that I mean, every time, like this Monday is a holiday. No federal people will be working. Well, some will, the actual people who need to work, but it just shows how many people don't need to work. And being President's Day, wow, we didn't talk about President's Day at all. But it's like most of the America is working on President's Day. Like it's not that big a deal, but the federal government is closed.
Yep.
It's unbelievable. So the government's closed, but the guys who actually have to work.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I'm going to call that? I'm going to call that as the Alfred and Mrs. Alfred said. They liked the term bullshitite. They liked it. They like that.
Yes.
Term. So that is my term. So anyway, we're running late. I apologize. It's my fault. Oh, I actually realized I'm not going to replay that clip again. So I'm going to quickly find Abigail. Could you talk for about 5 more seconds while I find some kind of music to play us out?
Well, I'm not sure that I can really do that. I just finished talking a lot, and you're asking me to talk about a topic, and I'm not sure what it would be.
Okay, well, oh, there we go. I got some music. Okay, I want to point out these are 2 ladies. They're teenagers in Japan.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Anyway, thank you, everyone. We are crotchety at gmail.com. crotchety at gmail.com. Or look at us on X at crotchety. Tell your friends. Go on X, reach out to us, tell your friends about us because we are growing slowly, but we're growing like crazy. And for the people who are local in Fairfax area, in Ashburn, anyone else, feel free to reach out. Maybe we'll bring you on the show and you can yell and scream. Thanks. Anything from you, Abigail?
No, it was a pleasure, Arden.
Oh, I'll see you next week live back in the. I don't know. We don't have an underground bunker. That's Mark Levin. But anyway, have a good one, everyone.
All right. Good night.